The sleek office on the 50th floor of my media tower offered a perfect view of Times Square, where my face was about to appear on every digital billboard simultaneously. My parents' latest Instagram posts about our perfect family were still trending carefully cropped photos that excluded their disappointing middle child. "Ms. Chen," my assistant's voice came through the intercom, "the acquisition paperwork is complete. We now own every major network." I checked my watch, vintage Patek Philippe, worth more than my parents' house. Time to begin phase 1. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. "Family photo shoot this weekend. Don't bother coming. We're maintaining our image." I smiled, watching the final transfers complete on my monitors. At 26, I'd just become the youngest media mogul in history, but my family still thought I was wasting time with internet stuff in my boring office job. "Activation in 3 minutes, my tech team reported. Through the window I could see the massive screens that dominated Times Square beginning to synchronize. Every digital display, every network billboard, every streaming service was about to announce the same news. Another text, this time from Dad. "Your sister's Vogue spread is out. Try to be more like her." If they only knew that I'd bought Vogue last week. Along with every other major media platform their successful children relied on for validation. 1 minute to activation. I opened my parents' Instagram profile one last time, savoring their carefully curated image of family perfection. The posed photos, the filtered memories, the conspicuous absence of their middle child who didn't fit the aesthetic. Activation beginning. Times Square erupted in light as my face appeared on every screen, accompanied by the breaking news: global media empire consolidated under young mogul's control. My phone began buzzing frantically, family members discovering that their carefully maintained social media empires were suddenly going dark. The cascade of notifications was almost musical. Instagram accounts disappearing, verified badges vanishing, promotional deals evaporating. My sister's Vogue spread had mysteriously disappeared from all digital platforms, replaced by a content unavailable message. "Miss Chen," my assistant appeared with a tablet. "Your parents are attempting to contact the network executives about their reality show pilot." Ah yes, the show they'd pitched about our perfect family, carefully excluding any mention of their middle child who didn't understand the importance of image. "Tell them those executives now report to me," I replied, watching as Times Square continued to broadcast my face. "In fact, put them through to my office. It's time for a family meeting." The sleek conference screen lit up, showing my parents in their meticulously decorated living room, the one I'd never been allowed to appear in during their social media photo shoots. "What's happening to our accounts?" Mom demanded, her perfectly maintained facade cracking. "All our content is gone." "And your sister's Vogue feature," Dad added. "It just vanished." I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the view of my face on every screen in Times Square. "Having trouble with your image management?" "This isn't funny," Mom snapped. "We have brand deals, sponsorships." "Had," I corrected gently. "Past tense. Along with your verified status, your reality show pilot, and..." I checked my tablet. "Oh yes, your upcoming feature in Social Media Monthly about family influencer success stories." Their faces paled as understanding slowly dawned. You did this?" Dad's voice cracked. I gestured to the wall of screens behind me, each showing another media property I now controlled. "Remember when you said I needed to understand the importance of image? Well, I understood it so well that I bought every platform that manages it." "That's impossible," Mom whispered. "Those companies are worth billions." I smiled. "Amazing what you can accomplish when you're not wasting time staging perfect family photos." My phone buzzed with another notification, my sister discovering that her carefully cultivated 2 million followers had dropped to 0. "The media landscape is changing," I continued, watching their perfect composure crumble. "New ownership, new policies. For example, we're implementing strict rules against..." I checked my notes with exaggerated care. "Family photos that deliberately exclude members for aesthetic reasons." The next hour transformed my office into something between a media command center and a family therapy session. Every screen showed another aspect of my empire, while my parents watched their carefully constructed social media kingdom crumble in real time. "Your sister's online too," my assistant announced. She's rather upset about her deleted influencer accounts. Put her through, I said, watching as more notifications flooded in. Celebrity siblings discovering their verified badges missing, sponsored content disappearing, carefully curated aesthetics vanishing into digital void. What did you do? My sister Rachel screamed as her face appeared on the conference screen. My 2 million followers. My brand deals. My Vogue spread. 3 million, I corrected calmly. Though most were bots. Something our new content authenticity algorithms are addressing. Mom's perfectly maintained composure finally cracked. But how? I pulled up a series of financial reports on the main display. Remember all those boring meetings I was always attending instead of your Instagram photo shoots? I was actually buying media companies. While you were filtering photos, I was filtering acquisition targets. That's impossible, Dad protested. Those companies are worth billions. And I'm worth considerably more, I replied, bringing up my personal financial statement. The number made Rachel drop her phone. But you work in some office job, she stammered. I own the building, I corrected. Along with most of the media companies you relied on for your influencer career. Amazing what you can accomplish when you're not spending 6 hours getting the perfect selfie angle. Another wave of notifications. Fashion magazines canceling features, social media platforms implementing new authenticity guidelines, streaming services removing carefully produced family reality shows. The landscape of influence is changing, I continued, watching their faces as the full scope of my power became clear. No more fake perfect families. No more filtered realities. No more excluding people who don't fit the aesthetic. You can't do this, Rachel wailed. My followers need me. Your followers, I pulled up her analytics, were 70% purchased engagement. The rest were mostly people following for hate watching. Not exactly the authentic influence our new guidelines require. Mom's hands trembled as she tried unsuccessfully to access her Instagram account. Everything we built was built on excluding me, I finished. And now I own the platforms you built it on. Let's talk about those family photos, I said, pulling up their social media archive on the main screen. 12 years of carefully staged perfection. Always 4 people, never 5. Always filtered, always curated, always missing one face. We were protecting our brand. Mom protested. Your brand. I clicked through to their monetization reports. The one that earned you what, 2 million last year? That's cute. I pulled up my company's quarterly earnings. I made that much in the last hour. Rachel was frantically trying to salvage her following on alternative platforms. I'm switching to TikTok. Owned by me as of last Tuesday, I replied. Along with YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and that new platform you were planning to migrate to. I bought that yesterday. Dad's business instincts finally kicked in. What do you want? Money? Recognition? I laughed, the sound echoing through my corner office. I have more money than our entire extended family combined. And as for recognition, I gestured to Times Square below, where my face still dominated every screen. I'd say I'm getting plenty. Then what? Mom demanded, her perfect makeup starting to smudge. I pulled up a particular family photo from 6 years ago, their Christmas card shoot. They were all wearing matching white outfits, posed perfectly on their grand staircase. I was home that day, I said quietly, studying in my room. You said I didn't match the aesthetic. That my presence would disrupt the visual harmony. Rachel at least had the grace to look embarrassed. So I studied harder. Built something bigger. And now, I clicked through to my new media empire's content guidelines. Every platform you use, every magazine you read, every screen you see will have new rules about authenticity. No more perfect facades. No more filtered realities. No more excluding family members for aesthetic reasons. You'll destroy the entire influencer industry. Rachel gasped. I'm transforming it, I corrected, into something real. Something honest. Something that doesn't tell young people they need to fit a perfect aesthetic to have value. My phone buzzed, another notification about their declining social media metrics. Their perfectly curated world was unraveling post by post, filter by filter. And the best part? I smiled, watching Times Square light up with another announcement about my media consolidation. Every time you look at a screen, every time you open an app, every time you try to rebuild your perfect image, you'll see the face you tried so hard to hide. Miss Chen, my assistant interrupted, the reality TV networks are ready for your new programming announcement. Perfect timing. I turned back to the conference screen where my family was still processing their social media apocalypse. Speaking of reality, let's discuss your show pilot. Our show was picked up by 3 networks. Mom protested. My networks now, I corrected, pulling up the contracts. And we're making some creative changes. The new title is Filtered, a story of social media deception. Their faces went pale as I continued. It's a documentary series about how social media creates toxic family dynamics. Episode 1 focuses on a family that excluded their middle child from photos for not fitting their aesthetic. You wouldn't dare, Rachel whispered. I clicked to another screen showing the documentary's preview. There they were, every carefully staged photo, every cruel comment about my appearance, every moment they tried to erase me from family history. The series premieres next month, I announced. On every major network. Simultaneously. We're expecting record viewership. We'll sue. Dad threatened. With what evidence? I asked calmly. Every photo, every post, every comment came from your public accounts. You literally documented your own behavior and shared it with the world. Mom's perfect posture finally crumbled. But our reputation will finally match reality, I finished. No filters, no editing, no careful curation. Just the truth about what happens when social media obsession destroys family bonds. My phone buzzed again. The documentary's trailer had leaked online. It was already trending. Fascinating thing about social media metrics. I continued, pulling up their analytics. People are actually more engaged with authentic content than perfect facades. Your documentary trailer has more genuine engagement than all your curated posts combined. The first wave of interviews is scheduled for tomorrow, I said, checking my calendar. Major networks, all of which I own, want to discuss the impact of social media perfection on family dynamics. They're particularly interested in how a family could systematically erase a child from their digital existence. We can explain, Mom began desperately. Oh, you'll have plenty of chances to explain, I assured her, pulling up the interview schedule. Good Morning America, The View, CNN Primetime. Though I should mention our new broadcasting guidelines require all interviews to be unfiltered. No makeup teams, no lighting specialists, no pre-approved questions. Rachel looked like she might faint. But I haven't appeared in public without filters since 2015. Consider it a return to authenticity, I replied, watching as their documentary trailer continued to gain traction. #FilteredFamily was already trending worldwide. The public will understand, Dad insisted. We were protecting our brand. I clicked to another screen showing the real-time social media reactions to their story. The comments were scathing. The public understands perfectly, I said. They understand how social media warped your priorities so badly that you erased your own child. They understand what it means to value aesthetics over family. And soon, I gestured to the documentary preview, they'll understand exactly how it happened, step by filtered step. My phone buzzed. Instagram's new algorithm had just flagged and removed another batch of heavily filtered, perfect family accounts. The age of artificial perfection is over, I announced, watching Times Square display the latest headlines about my media revolution. Welcome to the era of authenticity. What do you want from us? Mom asked, her voice small. I leaned back in my chair, surveying my empire through the floor-to-ceiling windows. I want you to experience what it feels like to be visible. Really visible, without filters or editing or careful curation. I want you to see your true selves on every screen, every billboard, every magazine cover. But our followers, Rachel whimpered, will see the real you, I finished. Just like you forced the world to see the real me, or rather, the conspicuous absence of me. Consider it a lesson in the power of visibility. The sun was setting over the city, casting long shadows across my office. Below, Times Square continued to pulse with my face, my story, my triumph. One last thing, I said, pulling up their old family photos. I've arranged for billboards across the country to display a special photo series. Every picture you took without me now showing the empty space where I should have been. A nationwide reminder of what happens when image becomes more important than family. Their documentary would premiere in a month. Their unfiltered interviews would air next week. Their carefully constructed world of digital perfection had crumbled in a day. And there I was, the daughter they tried to erase, looking down at them from every screen in Times Square. Sometimes the best revenge isn't being hidden. It's being impossible to ignore. The next morning, I watched from my office as the story exploded across every platform. #UnfilteredTruth and #VisibilityMatters were trending globally. My parents' carefully crafted image hadn't just crumbled. It had become a case study in toxic social media culture. Miss Chen, my assistant, appeared with the morning reports. The documentary preview has reached 50 million views. Mental health organizations are requesting partnerships for anti-social media addiction campaigns. I scrolled through the statistics on my tablet. Every metric told the same story. People were tired of perfect facades. They were hungry for authenticity. Your sister's trying to get ahead of the story, my media team reported. She's posted a raw, unfiltered video apologizing for her role in your exclusion. Too little too late. The algorithm I'd designed specifically flagged and demoted inauthentic apologies. Rachel's carefully scripted remorse barely registered in the feeds. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Please. We understand now. Just tell us how to fix this. I walked to the window, watching my story play out across the city's screens. There's nothing to fix, I typed back. This is what real looks like. The irony wasn't lost on me. They tried to make me invisible because I didn't fit their image, and now my face was inescapable. Every platform they'd used to erase me was now a canvas for my truth. Your parents' reality show producers are on line 1, my assistant announced. They want to know if you'll appear in the series. I smiled, watching another billboard light up with my face. Tell them I'm done being invisible. It's their turn to experience life without filters. After all, sometimes the biggest statements are made without saying a word, just by being unapologetically, unavoidably present. In a world obsessed with perfection, authenticity had become my most powerful weapon. And I was just getting started.